Texas made the wrong decision today. In other words, the sky is blue and dogs are awesome. Hey everybody, it's your pal Fox Navarro. This is the MexSkeptical show. I'm very sad inside. And basically the topic of this video is that the governor decided that we would withdraw from the federal refugee relocation program so Greg Abbott can flex his political muscle, basically. The governor says in a statement, Texas will withdraw from the Refugee Resettlement Program. As governor, I will continue to prioritize the safety of all Texans and urge the federal government to overhaul this severely broken system. The states of Kansas and New Jersey have already withdrawn from this program, which isn't a big deal. Let's be real, no one wants to live in any of those states. Kansas is a desolate wasteland. You know, refugees, I figure if you're a refugee, you're depressed enough as it is, we shouldn't punish them. And New Jersey, it figures pretty much as violent and corrupt as Syria anyways, but without any of the anthropological significance or, you know, things to do. In 2015, according to the Migration Policy Institute, Texas resettled more refugees than any U.S. state, approximately 7,500 people, comprising 11% of all total refugees. And that makes sense that, you know, a refugee from Syria would want to live here. I mean, Texas, we have a big Muslim community. It's dirt cheap to live, so it's easy. And there's always a gun-toting nationalist asshole just around the corner to make any war-torn refugee really feel at home. But here's the thing, though. And here's the thing that, you know, people aren't really going to focus on when people talk about the story. Texas doesn't actually have any money of its own it gives to the federal program. The state just acts as a middleman between federal dollars and local placement agencies. And this decision doesn't impact any of the local agencies. And it won't do a thing to change one way or another the number of refugees who are settled in Texas. In practical terms, the government did absolutely nothing. And so this is just, you know, one of those classic political lies by omission. You know, Greg Abbott, he's out there sending fundraising emails for what's entirely symbolic gesture. Ain't that politics as usual, man? Just, hey, you know, don't jerk yourself off too hard, man. Use some KY now and then. There's a part of me that would be less pissed off if this thing actually did result in rejected refugees, because that at least requires conviction and standing by one's beliefs and the aftermath of them. But now this is the best of both worlds for him, being able to cater to his base while still convincing himself he's going to heaven. And look, if I'm Greg Abbott's political aide or consultant, I'm popping champagne right now. This is a win-win situation, pretty much. It's not like you have a big liberal constituency in Texas that will vote him out. One big group that did oppose this move, however, was local leaders from the religion Greg Abbott claims to practice. Now, I don't know for sure if Greg Abbott's a Catholic. Maybe his birth certificate says he's a Muslim. I'm just asking questions. Jennifer Almon, executive director of Texas Catholic Conference of Bishops, says she hopes the new arrangement is in place by the end of January, but she and the affected resettlement agencies, which include Catholic charities, might have to do some fundraising to make sure that refugee clients aren't denied services during the transition period and to cover whenever new administrative overhead might be needed. So the Catholics are upset at this decision for any combination of two reasons. One, they won't be able to perform the services to the refugees that they'd want to without any of the funding or support from the state. Or two, they might not get all the right money they want. Like I said, combination of the both. If you're a Catholic, you need to collect as much hush money as you can to silence those rape victims. Yeah, it's a dirty job, but no one has to do it. Don't tithe. Yeah, this whole thing just doesn't paint us as very welcoming. I like this state. I think we're comfortable. I think we're good people. What people in Governor Abbott's argument camp don't seem to understand is that there's like a crazy frickin' level of scrutiny that already happens with refugee settlement. The process can take Django's amount of time. It involves a shitton of paperwork, a bunch of checks from U.S. intelligence. We're not a dumb country. We know how to vet people. You know, eventually. Yeah, we could be better at it, but our problem isn't that we're half-assing it. You know what I'm saying? Senator Cruz has similar views. Senator Cruz has similar views on this. Once said, the head of the FBI has told Congress they cannot vet those Syrian refugees. Nah, man, you're thinking of Cubans. Excuse me. Fuck. Admittedly, I wanted to find a better quote about, how, they're pouring into this country. We're giving them refugee settlement for nothing because, that would have been better. Oh, I'm Cuban. I know the immigration experience. I know how hard it is to migrate to this country. And, man, shut the fuck up, you white bastards. You think they would have let Desi Arnaz touch an Anglo woman in the 50s if he was Mexican? You are the worst people alive, and you are a very underrated part of why Florida sucks. I'll get to that in another video. Fox, you liberal cock. Would you want to have Syrians living in your neighborhood acting all funny and Muslim-y? Yes, I would. My current neighbors suck and I hate them. I feel like someone who's lived in a war zone would give them perspective on how not to behave like a giant douche nozzle. Like that, God's Not Dead character. I can't believe God's Not Dead had a character in blackface. A Mexican who lives in the RGV would just go, Mierda, todavía en Mexico. Pinche Trump. Listen, my neighbors are terrible. I got neighbors from the South. So they probably got syphilis. I don't touch them, and they understand that. This is one house in my neighborhood that's just got a bunch of tractor parts. They're not... I don't know why. Do they own that farmland? I don't think they do. There's also a car from one of the county constable's offices. It just says, County Constable. It's always parked there. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I thought that's where the sex offender used to live, but I guess not. I don't know. And there's also about one of 3 Trump supporters in the valley. But, they put the sign up, and it's a really small sign, sort of like lukewarm endorsement. It's in front of their American flagpole, in front of their, neatly trimmed 1 7/8 inch high grass, in front of a giant 1-story house made of bricks. And I'm just assuming they're white because of the aforementioned Trump thing, and, they live in a house that wasn't built in the 1980s on a budget of $60. Why, I do declare indubitably, y'all, we must elect the Trump man as president so we can keep all those spics in check. We don't want them getting uppity. We were here second. Plus, there's a bad example set by that very weird Navarro lot. They just keep growing trees, and there's screaming coming from it. No one knows why. I will personally serve the eviction notices that kick all of you out of your houses. I will grab all of the toys that your ugly children own. I will drag them into the street and set them on fire. I will make them watch as I dance around the embers as I summon the demon Adenak to curse y'all disgusting families for the crime of being annoying to me personally. I am a terrible person with no empathy for those closest to me in life. So what's basically going on is Greg Abbott is going to run for president in 2020. And he wants to be able to beef up his resume with as much conservative street cred as possible, because he's not really interested in being a public servant. He's just interested in rising to the top. I can't even really call him Frank Underwood, because he doesn't look like Frank Underwood. He kind of looks like Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That scene where he gets his face squished up against the windscreen. He's even standing by his GOP cred. He's actually sort of really lukewarm, though, but he's endorsing Donald Trump, despite, Trump's comments on Mexicans in a state with a significant Mexican population, and also he's married to a Mexican wife. This is proof of what I call the Erica Garner effect. I don't think it's going to get very far if he does run for president, though. To quote his candidate of choice, I don't think he has the stamina to be president. This has been the MexSkeptical Show. I wish I had friends. I'm lonely. No one talks to me. Probably because I make these dumbass videos.